Here we are. We are back. Another week, another episode, a special episode. For those who don't know, this is the 1 year anniversary of the Best of Both Worlds of Wrestling podcast. As always, I am Chris.
And I'm Khalil. We started Wrestlemania week last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our first episode was Wrestlemania previews and our favorite moments.
Yeah,
and
man.
Here we are. So they say the biggest WrestleMania of all time, XL WrestleMania 40.
It feels like it.
We're mere days away.
It feels like it, honestly.
Yeah. It's I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff we don't know, a lot of surprises that we have no idea what's happening. So definitely looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, it's the biggest weekend in wrestling. Shit.
With the biggest weekend in wrestling comes, I guess, some of the biggest bombshells, the biggest news. So we have nothing but hot off the press, hot tag topics for this segment.
It's been jumping.
I'm going to start with what I came across last night. Ronda Rousey has been on a tour recently of just expressing her dismay with the WWE during her time there. I think in the run up to a book that she has coming out, and cited by name some sexual harassment that she endured from NXT's Drew Gulak, allegedly. And I will say this. People are like trying to discount what she's saying. I don't, no disrespect necessarily to Drew Gulak because I don't know him, but I don't think you would go after someone like him in his position in the company to make a statement like that wasn't true. So I'm sure he comported himself in a horrible way, and we don't condone that here. Having said that, the macro idea of what has been going on around Ronda Rousey, I find interesting in terms of, I wonder how much if she was embraced, if she had a better experience on the way out or during her time in the company in terms of her actual in ring and like character development type stuff, and if the fans really embraced her the whole way through, and if she leaned into what they were doing, if she leaned into just being a bad guy and relishing in that, or whatever the case, I do wonder, sexual harassment stuff aside, there's no excuse for that, but I do wonder how much other commentary she would have outside of that if her run went differently. She feels that people are beholden to their careers at the company and that's why they're not speaking out. I don't work there, but I don't necessarily feel that way. I feel like people, like, it's almost like those shoot interviews we used to watch back in the day when people would leave the company. They had all the worst things to say. I mean, Big Papa Pump said some horrible things about Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Yeah.
And he put him in the Hall of Fame a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So, like, people always have stuff to say when things don't work out their way. And that, again, that is independent of her comments on the sexual harassment. I'm not saying that did not happen. I do believe her. But I'm saying outside of that, she's made other comments about the company, other comments about Vince, who has been gone and in the process of really being gone as he's continuing to sell hundreds of millions of dollars in shares every few weeks.
Yeah.
You wonder when she comes and gives you all these historical context about the company, how much of that did she know before she started working there? Like, why bother going there if you knew all these things? You know what I mean? Like, that's just my feeling in regards to that. Again, independent of what she said she experienced with Drew Gulak. Not counting that what I'm saying at all. But I just find that this press run she's been on lately, is that part of it stands out to me a little. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, she is definitely someone who thinks very highly of herself, because I saw a clip from another interview during this run where she was like, yeah, I'm pretty much the greatest fighter to ever live. And I'm like, you're great, don't get me wrong, but like, I saw Holly Holm beat you into a bloody pulp in your prime. So you couldn't even say anything about that. But I think maybe she thought she would be treated differently when she came into the WWE. Maybe she thought her cachet outside of wrestling was enough for her, that she like that's not the experience she thought she would have, because she was already famous, she was already in movies, biggest UFC star, et cetera, et cetera. And then she probably got hit with reality, like, yo, you're one of the boys slash girls once you're in this business. Like, until you prove that you can draw in here what you've drawn out there, we're only going to give you so much. We're going to put you on just so much this high of a pedestal. Like, you're not going to come in and win the championship immediately and be the top of it, because you haven't done anything in this business, to be honest. Like the thing we knew about Ronda before she joined was how much she liked Rowdy Roddy Piper, and that was about
Yes,
it.
and that
And
she was a fan, which we all are.
yeah,
You know,
but
for sure.
but coupling that with her celebrity, I think she just probably thought, oh yeah, I'm here now, I'm gonna be treated differently, because I'm that bitch, whatever, whatever, whatever. Because she's definitely someone who thinks very, and like all athletes, especially combat athletes, they think they're the best at what they do. And when she's been dominant for as long as she was dominant before she started, well, she had 2 L's in a row, by the way. It's not like she lost and got back on
Yeah,
top of a
man.
game
That
in the
and then
UFC.
she called it a career after that.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sucks with the Drew Gulak thing. I don't know. Is he even still with the company? I don't even know if he's still with the
Who's
company,
it?
Drew
Drew?
Drew
Yeah, I think
Gulak.
so.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I feel like he. I think so.
Well, it should be no
And that's neither
longer.
here nor there. I mean,
Yeah.
if he was carrying on like it's whack either way. But I think he still is. I mean, and I've watched. I was wondering what else would drop around this time because
Hmm.
I know like more. I'm looking for another Wall Street Journal article or something because they've been strategically dropping more
Yeah.
stuff before big events. I
They
guess
did
trying
the
to sustain it, but I'm like, bro, people are popping out. Like,
yeah, they did the I think it was like a love letter thing, like the victim Janelle Grant, like I think they were saying she was forced to write a love letter to Vince, or one of 20 love letters, and they got an excerpt of one of the love letters, and it said, I'm so glad we can be, ourselves in public now. It was fun last weekend hanging with Mickey, Paul, and the chef. And now people are trying to figure out, is Paul Levesque, Triple H? Is it Paul Heyman? Who's this Paul? Is Mickey Michael Hayes? Who's this Mickey? Who's the chef? I heard they used to call Stephanie the chef. Da-da-da-da. And now it's
oh my
just,
god, is that really happening? Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
yeah. So that's
You
the
know what
last
else I
I saw.
find funny about how they cover these things? When they were showing, when Rhonda was speaking with News Nation, they were using different clips. And as far as I know, Rhonda hasn't mentioned anything about Triple H in like a negative light.
Hmm.
But they putting Triple H on the screen. I'm like, what he got to do with it? But it's the media is so. I'm like, bro, she's not even talking about this guy. It should be nothing but clips of Drew Gulak, and if she's
Yeah.
mentioning Vince, then Vince. What is Triple H doing on the screen? I was like, yo, y'all was so irresponsible
Yo, some of
with
these
how y'all
newsrooms,
cover these things.
they're gonna be like, who's running the WWE right now? Let's use their footage. And it's like,
But he's not running it. He's just the
exactly.
creative director.
Yeah, but his picture will probably come up in a Google search when you talk
Man, these
about
people
who's in
are
charge of WWE, and they just went with him.
these guys, man.
Yeah,
These
insane.
guys.
But
Yeah, I guess what it says
well,
here.
she got a book coming
Yeah,
out.
he is currently signed to WWE, performs on NXT. That's what
Oh,
according to Wikipedia.
he's still on NXT. I think he's been on NXT his
Yeah, I mean,
entire career there.
I watched a retrospective on WrestleMania 36, which was a pandemic, no
Hmm.
fans WrestleMania, and they I forgot that I think Drew Gulak was involved in that in some type of Daniel Bryan feud or whatever. Like they had something going on. They were cool. I forgot.
Oh yeah, he was
But
supposed to be
yeah, that
like
was his
Daniel
like main
Bryan's
roster
like.
time. Like hey,
Oh
he had some
yeah,
moments with Daniel Bryan.
he's supposed to be like, Daniel Bryan's supposed to be taking him under his wing or something like that, or something to that effect.
Along them lines, right.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean but again, this is not we not ganging up on Ronda Rousey. I'm glad she came out and said what she said in terms of the harassment that she dealt with while she was in the
Hmm.
company. I'm not against that at all. I'm
Yeah,
speaking to a pattern I've seen outside of that in the timing of her bringing up certain things where I'm like, you work there, and
yeah,
like she was talking about how the history of the company, what the women were doing prior, and I'm like, but it hasn't been that way for like going on better of 10 years almost.
yeah.
So like, what what worth does that matter
I
now?
w-
Like you did not experience bra and panties matches. The majority of the women on the roster did not experience bra and panties matches, if any.
yeah.
If you want to count Lita and Trish, who are part time. Outside of that, like, so what are we talking about? Like, I don't understand. Like, they have taken measures to change
Hmm.
things. Why are we bringing that? Like, I don't understand why that's getting played. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm wondering if
You
it's
know,
because with Becky's book tour, she had some comments about like one of the WrestleMania finishes they had with Ronda. So I wonder if she feels like, oh, now I got to talk some shit
Becky
too.
Becky was right. I think Ronda was speaking before the book tour, though. I think
Oh,
those
okay,
comments started
okay.
right before the book tour. But
Mm,
what Becky said was very accurate, and I think as if you're a real fan, you feel it. It's like, bro, like we can sense that you're not really investing in
yeah,
this a certain
yeah,
way. Not saying you're not working out, not saying you're not technically doing the things, but you're not. You're mentally you're getting bothered by our reactions, and when you want to beef with us for how we. But if we don't want to see you in a certain spot, it's your job to tell us about ourselves
hmm,
in the character, in the vein of what y'all do. Like it's
yeah.
and then we realize that you don't understand what this really is. Like you don't get it,
Anyone else would
And
have just
so
leaned
I think
into it.
because of that, she felt pushed out.
Yeah,
People are not buying it. You see what Drew McIntyre be doing every week when people say what he just be like spinning it,
yeah. That's
and
what
he's
you
like,
got to
oh yeah,
do.
what means you love that I hurt CM Punk or whatever, and then niggas, oh this guy,
Yeah, now you don't want to
you
say no
know,
more. Simple.
yeah. So like it's just that she's not hip to it, and I'm sure people have told her how to go about some of these things character wise, and she just decided she's not gonna listen. Like, and so yeah, she's trying to get a little come up. I think in terms of the book, I'm not. Again, I want to continue to say this has nothing to do with her sexual harassment. What she said happened with regard to that. I'm not saying that, but in regards to the details of her book, I can kind of see the strategy here, and whether it
Hmm.
works or not is on her, but
Yeah,
and on the people that want to buy it. But my whole point really is that in such a big news week and a big week for the company, Drew Gulak news is not going to stop WrestleMania. That's all I'm saying. Drew Gulak is probably going to be released
yeah.
for bringing
Quietly.
bad press and for his bad behavior, and we are going to watch the greatest or the biggest main event of all time. And I hope I've been saying this every week. I hope Triple H ain't dabbling in no badness. I've not heard
Mhm.
from anybody's stories throughout history. I've never heard of Triple H being like
No,
salacious and
no.
like everyone says he was the most disciplined, didn't drink like that, he didn't party like that, always in the gym.
Yeah,
That's what I've always heard from people. Even people that didn't like him, they're like, he might politic and shit, but I ain't heard nothing about
exactly,
no weird stuff with
exactly.
chicks. I've never heard that. We've heard stuff about Vince forever. The same way we've heard about Diddy since our childhood, we've heard about weird Vince stuff forever.
Hmm.
You know, and we had no way of knowing what was true or not, but we just heard things.
Yeah.
People that were tapped in, whatever the case. So we'll
Nah,
we'll see, man.
I feel
We'll
like your
see.
hands
But
are
that
clean.
that is first up on the hot tag. What can you tell us on the CM Punk Ariel Hawani interview where he
Oh
shot
man.
on AEW?
Now, if anyone knows me, they know this is the last thing I wanted to happen. Not because of the people involved, but because of the fans and their reaction and how they're gonna digest it and just. Luckily, it wasn't as big of a circus as I thought it would be. But so he was on Ariel Helwani's show, and of course, since I believe it's an ES, is it? I don't know if Ariel Helwani works for ESPN or if he works for another site like DraftKings or something like that. I'm not sure. I think he. I don't think it was ESPN because they cursed on the
He's got
show.
skin in the game though.
Yeah. Because he used to be an
Look at him
analyst
now.
for the UFC. He's big
Hmm.
in the MMA world. But yeah, he had CM Punk on, and of course they talked about the all in situation with Jack Perry. See, the things that I took away that meant like that I wanted to take away was a that he mentioned wanting to leave the company before Collision was even a thing. And I remember when Collision was about to air, the rumor was that it was a show specifically made for CM Punk and blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. So to hear the fact that he didn't even
Hmm.
like he didn't really care about Collision because he didn't even want to be in the company anymore, I'm like, well, goes back to when I was thinking after the brawl out situation with the Bucks, just cut ties. He wanted to leave. Why are you holding on to him? Like trying to force the situation to be better and like whatever. The other thing that stood out was him talking about how he quit after the brawl with after the not the confrontation with Jungle Man, Jack Perry, and how he basically quit and only did the match with Joe, out of obligation to the people he still respected, called Tony Khan a clown. It was
Hmm.
like, it's a circus. And I'm just like, well, this shit was doomed from not from the get go, but ever since Brawl Out, it was doomed. There was no repairing any damage. Everything after that was just a band aid that Tony Khan hoped would help heal the wound, but it didn't. And
We
then,
kind of knew that too. I mean, there was always whispers of that he was trying
yeah,
to he was cool on them.
but the biggest thing was, well, for me, was the him saying that guaranteed contracts are a detriment to the wrestling business, and I'm like, bro, you're talking about these are a time where wrestlers, like even Becky had an excerpt from her book talking about there'd be times like, when you're in NXT, I think you're doing NXT and Raw or something like the live events on Mondays, and they'd go out to cities and they'd be told the day of, oh, there's no event tonight. So that means they just traveled to a city. They're not going to work, so they're not going to get a payday. So they just basically paid out of pocket for no reason. And we're going to allude to the next story. Wrestlers getting released while they're injured and everything. Like everything, one of the biggest black eyes in pro wrestling for a long time was the financial security of the entire roster as opposed to just the cream of the crop.
The top,
And
right?
CM Punk being this whole workers' rights person, people harken back to the Hangman promo when he was like, "Oh yeah, you're all about workers' rights, right? That's a bunch of bullshit." And now he says this about the guaranteed contracts. It's people are basically like, "Oh, you're a hypocrite now. Now you're a corporate shill." But overall, I think the interview was quote unquote useless because while it's great content for people like us, the people he didn't change any minds. The people who were on CM Punk's side are still on CM Punk's side, and the people who don't like CM Punk because of this still don't like CM Punk because of this. Like, so all this did was just drudge up old, because like that was August of last year that all that happened with Jungle Boy. Like, why are we talking about it
But he
now?
got asked about it. He
Yeah,
got
that
asked
in
about
his
it.
defense, yes, in his defense, he got asked about it.
He
So
got
I'm not
asked
mad at
about it.
him.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm not
it
mad at
wasn't.
him.
It's not like the press conference where he just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Colt Cabana. Like he didn't.
yeah,
He got asked about it. So I don't mind it at all. I
yeah.
think
I think
that he
I'm
went
just,
into. I mean, I thought he went into his detail.
yeah. He had to tell his
Go ahead.
truth, of course, especially in this business where there's dirt sheets and everyone has their version of the truth. You got to be able to tell your truth if you want to. So he did that. But I was just more worried about the fan reaction and the overreaction and the tribalism rearing its ugly head. Because I'm just like, yo, we about to this WrestleMania, doggy. Like, had you
Nah,
could do this interview
it,
next Monday. Not that the interview shouldn't happen at all. Let's do it next Monday, bro.
nah. I get that, but I think I don't know if I don't know about whether it was useless. I felt like it was just another page in that. chapter of that legend of that event because they would
Yeah,
never really
yeah,
confirm what exactly happened. And you're not gonna really get it from Joe right now because he's active. But
hmm
I really feel like Jack Perry was being a dick that day, and like I kind of believe Punk on that. But
yeah,
you know what, and I think when he's referring to, like, I think he's speaking from a place of emotion when he says that the guaranteed contracts are hurting people, because I think he's coming from the space of, like, I don't think he's talking about WWE. I think he's talking about wrestling he sees in AEW, having been around some of the talent, and
hmm
maybe he feels like because of the guaranteed contract, it's sort of informing the work ethic and how people are approaching getting it, like growing the business. I think that, I
true.
don't think he's trying to say that people shouldn't have like guaranteed income. He could have expressed that differently or
Yeah, yeah,
contextualized it differently.
yeah,
I agree with that, but like I don't. But I think he's really saying, like, it's almost. I mean, it's like older generations always shitting on younger ones saying that they had it easier type shit. It's the same,
hmm
And then you look at them like, well, easy for you to say. You just got $3 million deal, like based off your experience, based on the time you got put in. It's always people that are established that's like, you guys don't know what's going on. I'm like, bro, you ain't paid the student loan in how long?
yeah, yeah,
College was $1,800 a year when you was doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's all you're really seeing there. But people are gonna have their reactions. That's why they
yeah,
do these things, to elicit reaction.
yeah,
They
yeah.
succeeded in that,
I mean, and
to say the
content is
least.
content. Like it's content for us. We get to talk about it.
This is true.
Um, what did you think of him saying Tony Khan was a nice guy and not a boss, and that might be a
Oh, I
potential
think.
downfall for AEW?
Well, if Tony Khan doesn't put people in, like, Tony Khan is trying to do this whole, he's trying to Tyler Perry this thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you just gotta hire some people, man.
yeah.
And I think,
They did.
the pro wrestling.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say the pro wrestling business is so unique
hmm
that it would behoove him to have people to handle talent relations and writing, and and he can oversee it, but like it does help to like just divvy some responsibilities off. Um, Tony Khan, as far as I know, has not really been in a position where, I mean, he has to. It's almost like in sports teams where it's always a risk when you hire a younger coach, wondering how the older players are going to respond to them and buy into them.
Yeah,
They can,
yeah,
and if they haven't accomplished certain things, like they even gonna respect them a certain way. I think that's the dynamic that's playing against AEW, where it's like, bruh, this is what I do. Like
hmm
that. I understand what he's saying. We all seen, we had the opportunity to see Tony Khan in person at the show.
yeah,
He does seem like a nice guy. He doesn't strike me as
yeah,
nobody that not anything other than nice. But
yeah.
as someone that can like assert himself a certain way and like command the attention of a room on his own,
hmm
I don't think so.
Yeah, as an
So
authoritative figure.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so I thought that was the most honest response he could give, because he don't even sound like, I don't got no beef with this dude, but
yeah. It's
in
just
this right here, you fail, you know,
or
and
failing. Like he can still get better. So I think
right.
so since then or since All In, AEW they hired Kosha Irby as a COO, their chief operations officer. And he worked with WWE from 2011 to 2018 as
hmm
regional director of live events. So that should speak to, because I remember Punk mentioning how what's the point of having a 5-star match if the arena is half filled? I think that hire is an answer to the ticket sales thing. Um, they have to hire the woman who used to write for SmackDown, the one they brought in specifically for Mercedes.
I heard about her.
Yeah, so that's one, and yeah, I think they're making. I think that whole thing was a learning experience for like Punk and Tony. Like, just Punk came in because Punk has to admit he had rose-colored glasses on when he came back, because he saw AEW. He was looking at it from the outside in, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a part of that." Then once he got inside and he realized, okay, this is how things were running, and for him,
But
it
you
wasn't up
gotta
to par.
expect that. That is on him because there's
Yeah,
no matter what, and we could rag on him a little bit.
hmm
They're a new company, yo. Like WCW
yeah,
was sort of an inherited product from the
yeah,
Jim Crockett days.
yeah,
It had a foundation, it had a lineage. AEW is literally it's a fresh thing.
hmm
It is literally five, like 6, 7 years old. Like it's
yeah.
literally, you know what I mean. So
I think
like
people forget
you
that
cannot
too.
expect you can't expect that thing is gonna run like Vince bought the company from his pops in like 84, 83 or something like
Yeah,
the company is and his dad had the company since like the 50s. So we're talking about a company that's like 80 years old. I don't know,
yeah.
like
Like
really and
we're
truly
we're about to talk about WrestleMania 40, and WrestleMania is
right.
not
And his
even part
dad
of
was
the
in the
entire history of the
game.
company.
Right. Like, come on. Of course it should be running a certain way by now.
Yeah,
So, but that's not to negate what he's saying, but I'm just saying his
yeah,
expectation
yeah, yeah,
level,
yeah.
you gotta quell that,
Yeah,
you
like
know.
yeah,
Gotta
that's the
quell
only
that.
thing I think was a mistake on his part. Like everything else was just a learning experience. Like you couldn't know what it was until you experienced it. So
Mm-hmm.
and the same thing for Tony. I think I want to assume this situation has maybe he learned a lesson on how he should be running the business with maybe a slightly firmer hand, or if he can't do it, hire people who can handle that for you. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting media call for Tony tomorrow because he has one. I want to say it's either 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. because Ring of Honor has a pay per view on Friday, so he'll be doing this media call tomorrow. So he'll definitely get those
Tony
questions.
Khan love to be having shows during other people. Them like, listen, bro, this is
Yeah,
WrestleMania week, brother.
yeah, but that's why he did it. Like it's
WrestleMania
Friday,
week, brother.
and then and it's the fact that it's WrestleMania weekend, and then WrestleMania is in Philly where Ring of Honor started. So he'd be a fool not to take advantage of that a little bit. You know what
So
I
the show
mean?
was in Philly also.
Yeah, it's in Philly.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so yeah,
I won't
Philly's
be in Philly until Saturday morning, so I'm gonna miss
it's
all.
a
I might go to the NXT show.
stand and deliver. I think it's what a noon. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
noon
I
start
might.
time.
I gotta get there early enough. I'm gonna see what
Yeah,
time I get up Saturday, but I should have passes for that.
word.
Or I can go there late. I might just go there and see
Yeah,
the main event, see Trick
hell
and
yeah.
what's his name,
Tricking
and
my man Mello,
and Mello. You know what I
Trick
mean?
Mello gang.
So maybe I'll get there in time for that. We'll see. But
Yeah, but yeah. And speaking of Tony Khan, the,
you had some news on. Yes.
yes. So there'll be some other questions you'll have to answer tomorrow during that media call, more specifically about AEW's first ever round of roster cuts, which is would seem innocuous on the surface, but due to the fact that Tony Khan has been adamant from the inception of AEW, adamant about fulfilling contracts. I will not release anyone early. I want people to come in. If they sign for 3 years, they have the guarantee and the comfortability, the comfort of knowing they'll be employed for 3 years. There are extenuating circumstances where people may get fired, of course, but my man, he's known for letting people just wait out their contracts. Like CM Punk was a special example. I can't remember the dude's name, but there was someone in the very beginning of AEW who had some speaking out allegations, serious speaking out allegations. They got rid of him
Who is the
quick.
guy that had people touching his beef? That's the guy, man.
Oh, he was
He
never
was
in
at the
AEW.
company.
He got canceled before AEW started. Like
That guy's
6 months
crazy.
before
So
AEW
that is
started.
the worst character I've seen in my. I don't remember his name. I
Joey
watched this.
Ryan.
Touch my dick. What?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And
But
then people be crumbling. What's wrong with you, man?
it's listen, And
Oh,
in indie wrestling is indie wrestling is such a weird scene because it's still like closer to the carny circus level type of entertainment sometimes in the indie scene. But
what is he doing now? Because he got caught in
he's
some sus shit, right?
yeah, I think he's working a regular job, like
You ain't got to
regular
go
nine
to
to
a regular
five.
job now, buddy.
Yeah,
Nigga
like working at
said,
Sears or some
"What'd you
shit.
get fired for?" Telling people to touch my beef. Oh my
But
god!
yeah. So people
Oh
are
my
up in
god!
arms because they calling Tony Khan a hypocrite for going back on his word. But the for me personally, I think it's this is a business. So it was what his philosophy was worked in theory until he started signing any and everyone, and the roster got bloated. So like this was an eventuality for him. But the only thing I will say is
Not to cut you off,
yeah,
just want you to update you. This dude last name is Mihan, and they said that he worked at Disneyland for 3 months on a probationary status before he was dismissed in June 2022. So who knows what he's doing now? But even
yeah,
Disneyland ain't want this dude.
nah, keep him away from
Come
the
on,
kids.
son.
But
You out here touching people, having people touching you, man. Come on, man. I'm sorry.
yeah, man, nah, it's all good. But for me, like two releases stick out. Um, like they released 10 people. Um, a lot of them weren't being used anyway, like Stu Grayson from the Dark Order, Parker Boudreaux, the fake Brock Lesnar. He was one of the white dudes that was with Swerve in the beginning. When you were like, why the hell is Swerve with these two white dudes? And then he had 4 months left, so they released him.
Those guys got released.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Thank God, man.
yeah. But the biggest
They weren't interesting. I looked at
no,
the list when they showed it. I was like, of course they got released. I don't know these people.
yeah. But the two
They could have gone. They
standouts,
could have
yeah.
gone. I'm sorry.
No, like I think the only two standouts are Dasha Polanco, who she is a ring announcer. She was the only other. They had Justin Roberts and her. They're the only two ring announcers, and she
So they
was
let her
basic.
go. Okay.
And it was
She worked
crazy.
on Collision, didn't she?
She was just on Collision,
Yeah, I
just
seen
on
on Collision.
Collision. Yeah, but they're
That's
making
whack.
fun of
I
her.
actually think she was pretty good, yo.
I thought so
She
too.
gave she gave me Samantha Irvin vibes.
Yeah, she had a couple of
Yeah.
botches. Like over the past few weeks, she's had a couple of botches, but I'm like, it happens. It's live TV, man. It happens. But yeah, her and then Anthony
All
Henry.
announcers have had botches.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was one that
Did
really
you
upset
see
people.
Batista trip into the ring for his last match with Triple H
It's a thing that
at
happens, bro.
WrestleMania 35? This nigga trip, bro.
It's
Come on.
it
The
happens.
biggest last match ever. This dude almost, and he has to be mean, right? He a heel. The nigga couldn't help but chuckle like,
Listen,
okay.
yeah. So there are a lot of people, a lot of talent who are upset about that because she was friends with a lot of people. Like everyone back there in that locker room was tight knit for the most part. And then the other one was it's wrestler by the name of Anthony Henry. He is one half of this tag team called the Workhorsemen. But what stands out is that he is recovering from a broken jaw. So he is out injured. So it's not even like he can just jump in immediately and take bookings to make money. He's asked out for now.
He got to play
And
Bischoff, man.
it's not like he didn't get hurt doing an indie show. He got hurt during a match on Dynamite a couple weeks ago. He took I want to say he took a knee strike to the face wrong and it broke his jaw. But that one sucks because he was upset. Like he took to Twitter and he was like, "Yo, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to continue wrestling. Like I'm devastated by this." So it's so much for nice guy Tony Khan for doing that. And it's going to be interesting because Eddie Kingston had an interview that released earlier this morning. And they were like, "Oh, what are your comments on CM Punk and what he said?" He was like, "Yo, I don't want to talk about that. I care more about the people who just got released and da 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 da. So when Eddie's one of your top wrestlers and he's shining a light on it, it's gonna be something that, as a boss, you can't avoid. Like, people are gonna be looking at you like, bro, what is going on? What is the change in philosophy? Like, they understand it's a business because they're
But
in the
that is,
business, but again,
but the premise that they, you control your narrative, and
mhm,
and Tony Khan's whole mission statement was, "We're not like everybody else. We have a heart. We want to help the community." Like, it's hard in business to be
yeah,
moral
it
and
is.
be profitable. It's
It is.
really a
Yeah,
thin line, and most businesses do not uh, tread that line all the ways on the right side.
yeah, and
That's the nature of business. The business's only goal is to turn a profit. It's not to be nice. It's not
yeah,
fair. We've all been shafted by jobs, um, in a myriad of ways, and so
and
respect
like,
to Eddie Kingston.
mhm,
But this is the game.
yeah,
It's way better than seeing when Let's Go people that you're like, damn, they're good. They just had a match, or you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
these folks,
like,
they weren't being used, and now they're freed up to do whatever they please.
yeah,
But sucks for my man that's on the sidelines. Hopefully, they could cover his bills or something.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully, I
his
mean, they've been
medical
good
bills.
about that. Like, if there's one thing I've never heard is maybe the logistics of getting someone surgery might have been an issue at times, but financially, they've always paid for people's injuries. So, like that, and people need to
Mm-hmm.
remember, like, theoretically, AEW is a family-run business. Like, there's no outside investors, there's no board of directors. They pay, the cons are paying for everything out of pocket. I think I'm 95% sure the company hasn't turned a profit yet. I think they're still in the red. Like, technically, like, they're making money, but they're not turning a profit. So just like, and this is a crazy business. This is a crazy business. You never know. They, like, who's to say they won't be back? Like, I never thought, no one
Yeah.
thought Cody would go back, and Cody went back. No one thought Punk would be back, and Punk is back. Like, these things, it sucks in the moment, but hopefully there's no long term resentment or burned bridges. And if there is,
All them guys either been in the WWE or know of it. Like, that shit gonna roll right over, man. Like,
yeah, yeah,
that's the nature of that beast,
yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. Moving on. Heard this is a quick one, but it's just a debate I've heard. Obviously, over the last couple weeks, we've had some big debuts. We had Big Business with
Hmm.
Mercedes Moné debuting, and then last week on SmackDown, we finally got the official SmackDown debut of Jade Cargill, who has
Hmm.
her first WWE match at WrestleMania 40,
Crazy.
teaming with former women's champions and Black Godiva goddesses Bianca Belair and Naomi. So it's a
Yes,
whole
yes,
lot of
yes.
Ovaltine on that
More
team.
Ovaltine, please.
You feel me? You get it. so you had that amazing debut juxtaposed with Mercedes Monet, and folks are wondering, or not wondering, folks are discussing the style in which AEW debuts people
Hmm.
as opposed to the WWE, and where that might be lacking on one side or the other. Your thoughts?
Well, for one thing, let's just put it out there. As far as production costs, there's nothing AEW can do to put out the kind of presentation. Like, Jade came out looking like they got the laser. Like, yo, like, let's.
She looked like a new person.
She did. Like, bro, like,
She's the
and
same person. It looks
yeah,
like fresher.
yeah, and I'm the AEW guy, but like, you got to call the speed. They can't, like, logistically. They don't have the means to do what the WWE can do as far as presentation wise. But as far, I think one of it's different because it's WrestleMania season, so hype is heightened for WWE. So debuting, like she's been on screen before, but like officially making
But
her country. Yeah,
they waited months
yeah, they
to
did.
get to this point.
They
You
did.
feel me? So it's like
Yeah.
it's even little nuances like that where it's like, how important was it to just debut in Boston for the novelty of debuting in Boston, rather
Hmm.
than let's wait and put you in a position where you hitting the ground running. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because to me, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, is a bigger star than Jade Cargill right now. She is a legend already.
Yeah.
Why not debut her as such? Like, it just didn't feel, you know. I knew when I didn't get home on time that evening, I was gonna miss her debut, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have started the show with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I do think WWE handles those things a lot better. Um, and like, at some point, Jade is gonna turn on one of them girls down the line, and it's gonna make just a much better story. Like, it's just they got it.
Yeah.
We know where it's going, and like The Rock's been saying, that you just gonna enjoy the ride, Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard Mercedes Monet catchphrase? Her new catchphrase?
Well, like a CEO who runs the company. Like I'm not a boss, I'm a CEO because the CEO like
Nah,
controls shit.
it's like Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price type of shit, but it's like,
Oh,
you
okay.
mess with Monet, you gonna get checked, or I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like,
something. Oh,
I'm like, nah,
she
man, we gotta your check gonna bounce, or it's like,
the the gift of gab was not always at the
oh
top of the
my
list of skills for
god,
her. Like she
ay,
because
ay.
people were talking about her being on commentary and how like her commentary felt real flat and like paint by numbers. And I'm like, listen, she's never been the best talker. Like when she's a heel, like a shit talking heel, like I'm that, well, I'm the shit, da da da. Then
I agree with you.
it's more
She's
natural
very
for her.
captivating as an antagonist.
Yeah,
I agree
but
with you.
like she doesn't pull off the baby face type because her swag is I'm that mother, like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But we also
Yeah, I
got to
have a
remember
friend
she's
who
also recovering. Well, not she's recovered, but like they've been easing her into the whole in ring action because she's coming off such a severe injury. So she's only hit her finisher a couple of times. She hasn't really done much, but I think they're gonna I think the plan is for her first feud to be with Willow. I think Willow
oh, this
wins.
is what he said. This is what she said. Sorry.
Mhm.
There's a price to pay when you mess with Mercedes Monet.
That is very 80s wrestling.
Yes, I told
Such
that. I was
80s.
in the DM with that guy Greg. I said that sounds like some 1992 Money
Yeah.
Inc.
Yeah.
But
Oh
he said, he
man.
was like, "Yo, but it's all about the delivery," and he's
Yeah.
right. When
Yeah.
Million Dollar Man could say that in NXT when he just did that little run with my man, I forgot my man. He's on main
Oh,
roster. He hasn't had much
Cameron
success yet.
Grimes.
Cameron Grimes,
Yeah.
and he was some. That man is like 60, 70 years old. He come on, everybody's got a price. It's like, yo, you gotta command the microphone. That dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to command that shit. That shit is a fire. But when she said that joint on the microphone in front of a live crowd, I didn't think it hit. She was just like, hey, man, there's a price to pay when you mess with
Yeah.
Mercedes Monet. I was like, ooh, like I'm doing the Scott Hall.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough when she's in there having to cut promos with the likes of Britt Baker, who's like a naturally. Well, let me tell you something. When Britt Baker started, she was not good. I watched in real time Britt Baker get much, much better and more confident on the mic and in the ring. So
But she also got to become a bad guy. She
that, yeah,
wasn't
that's
bad in the
true.
beginning.
That
When
was
she
the
was
thing.
when she I remember watching the beginning of and all they could talk about was she went to dentistry school. She's a dentist.
Yeah,
That's all they kept
yeah,
saying every fucking week. She's a dentist. She got a DD. I'm like, nah. But then they turned it into they made that part of the character, and then she's like, yo, I could just if you just become like a condescending
yeah,
person,
yeah.
the world is yours. And it worked out for her.
It,
And you could lean into that.
yeah,
The whole money thing with I don't know, man. I wish it was just a better character for her. Like the money thing. I feel like it has its it's too boxed in. Like calling yourself the
Yeah,
CEO is like the CEO of what? You know what I mean? Like
of everything, I
that's
guess.
what we're. But you're not even this. You don't own the company you in. So it's just like when The Rock say I'm the final boss and all them things. It's like, bro, the nigga got $30 million in shares of the WWE. You can already just he is
Yeah,
a boss.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can do that.
It's
But when you're not any of that, it's like, what are we buying into? I wish they would have thought out the character a bit more, just to
I,
give her more
yeah.
room
I
to play
think
with. Obviously, she's a great wrestler, and I
yeah.
like her a lot. But
I wonder
the
if it's a
buzz,
thing where
like
they're
people,
letting.
the buzz of her debut is going to pale in comparison to Jade Cargill being in a 6-woman tag match at the end of the day.
Yeah,
She, this
yeah,
is
but it
this
is
is a,
WrestleMania 40. Like we got to
but
say that too. It is WrestleMania
it is,
40.
but it's a 6-woman. It's not even like the story is all hers. You feel me? Like it's really she's sharing the stage with 5 other ladies.
Yeah,
It is WrestleMania 40. That does inherently make it a bigger deal.
yeah.
But I mean, I would if it was at Backlash, I think it'd be a bigger deal. I think.
It's some
So
because
I think there's legs to people having that criticism of AEW. Um,
it's just they they just don't got it yet. They're not on that level yet, presentation wise. Like they just aren't. Like
but that's because of Tyler Perry in gorilla position. So you got to let that go.
we'll see as the
Gotta
year
let
go as the
hire
year
some
goes
more
on if
people.
he starts delegating more and more tasks as they
Gotta
start to
delegate, man.
trim
Please,
the fat of the roster.
please. You know. And to close out the hot tag, I had just a discussion point.
Hmm.
Uh, it's Wednesday. I watched Raw on Monday. It was in Brooklyn.
I thought
Uh,
about going.
so I have a couple people I know that ended up going. Man, I heard it was a great energy up in there. I heard it was a good time.
You know what it was for me
They were
though?
touting that it is the highest. What's that?
No, it's good. Go ahead because it's going to be related to what you're about to say.
Oh well, they had the highest gate apparently in Raw history,
Hmm.
and of course that's absolutely because the final boss was going to be in town, and they knew that along with Roman and it's a go home Raw.
Yeah,
The only thing that I always find just fascinating or interesting is that they thank the fans when they like you surge price the whole shit. Obviously, they surge price everything. So you surged it with the demand, and now you're just the highest grossing Raw ever. It's no different from the Raw I went to, in December or whatever the case. Same
yes,
building, you know what I mean? But somehow this one's way more expensive. I just think it's fun when they thank the fans for doing it. Like, don't thank me for spending my
yeah,
I'd much rather spend less.
exactly, and that's why I didn't go.
Don't tell me
I
thank you. You robbed me, nigga.
I was like, all right, let me get a last minute ticket because they weren't announcing that it was sold out. So I was like, all right, there's got to be tickets left. They talk about section 235 for $170. I'm like, what? What? I've been to the Barclays too many times to pay that money to sit in that section. Like, no, no, I'm gonna
That
watch
section
it.
where you think you're gonna fall down to the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
listen. I remember taking a girl to a Nets game, and she got vertigo going up to the
Yeah.
seats because we got the $10 tickets.
That shit it's steep up there. It's very steep. I do not like to
Hmm.
sit up there.
Nah, it's
I
awful.
couldn't tell you the last time I sat up there.
Nah, you got to be in the lower section at Barclays. You
I
have
get
to.
that.
But man, it's expensive. It's expensive.
It's
Not
expensive. Oh, and thank you for making this the highest grossing of all time. I'm like, man, it didn't have to be, man. I much rather you pay
yeah.
you charge
Yeah.
us fairly, please. I
I'd
don't
rather
want to be a
be
part
I'd
of this
rather be a
highest.
sellout, sell out the building at cheaper prices instead of like I mean it was
Yes,
basically a sellout anyway, like but still. It's not on the
that's how
highest
you know the
gate.
Rock gonna run as a Republican. B. That's how you know he's gonna be a Republican when he runs.
Are you
You
gonna
worry
go
about
to
the
the
fucking
because they're gonna be at Barclays again next Monday, right?
no. They're gonna be at Wells Fargo Center.
Oh, I thought they were doing the Raw before and after. Okay,
I
it
thought
was
so
just the
too,
Raw
but I had that
before.
wrong. They're doing that. Well,
Okay,
I am gonna be there though. They gave me press passes for it,
okay,
so
okay.
I'm gonna see what the Raw after Mania is hitting for.
All right, bet.
Um, and then I'm gonna go home after and hit the turnpike. But
That 2-3 hour drive.
nah,
Nah,
hour
that's
and a
like an hour
half.
and a half. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an hour and a half. Only the buses take that long.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot right down that joint, but especially by that time, easy,
Oh yeah.
easy peasy. But yeah, as you mentioned earlier, man, we got WrestleMania 40 on the docket. Yours
Mm-hmm.
truly will gladly be there. We have a stack card,
Yes.
and I figured we could go through the matches. I'm just searching for it here. WrestleMania
Just gonna pull them up
40
right now.
card, and we can.
Oh, they don't have this list separated by nights. Damn.
Oh, this on Bleacher Report has it separated.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go from bottom to top. Pause. And we got WrestleMania Saturday, night one,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio versus Santos and Dominic, which is a fake rematch of last year, which is fine. I
Yeah.
don't care. They're very
Yeah.
entertaining.
I love how it was just
Uh,
how Dom had nothing to do with. He was like, "Yo, let me just go fuck with my pops again this weekend."
straight up.
Just like, yo,
And I think they're gonna go over.
who,
I think they're gonna win.
who, Dom and Santos?
I think Dominic and Santos are gonna. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Rey
I don't
Mysterio don't
know.
need that win. He got the
Yeah,
win last year.
but they trying to build. They trying to build up Dragon Lee as their next big luchador superstar.
They'll rematch it next month at Backlash. Might get Dragon Lee against Dominic at Backlash.
Oh yeah, bet. Yeah, they can do that. They can do
That's what I
that.
think. Yeah, they gonna. I mean, they're not gonna. These dudes ain't gonna win fair and square. They're gonna do some shit that's not make you not like them. But I
Oh,
think they're gonna win.
real quick,
Um,
real quick. One
mm,
of the releases from AEW was Jose, the assistant, who was the manager of Andrade when Andrade was in AEW, and then
oh,
left
that guy used
Andrade.
to.
Yeah, and then he managed
He used to
LFI.
speak English. Is that the same dude that does the English for the Lucha Bros?
No. That's Alex Marvez. That's
Oh,
the
that's
weird jumping around guy. Nah,
okay.
Jose the
Okay.
assistant used to have the carry an iPad around and translate for Idolo, and then he started
Yes.
working with LFI, Los Faction Ingobernables, but he's released. Dragon Lee is a former member of LFI. Andrade is in WWE now. Jose
Hmm.
tweeted a clip of Cody saying, "So what do you guys want to talk about with an hourglass?" So just the mention of Dragon Lee just reminded me that. So he might be coming as Andrade's new manager.
That might help. That might help.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. The aforementioned 6-woman tag.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna call that squad more over team, please. I'm with that.
Yeah.
So Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill going up against Damage Control of Dakota Kai, Asuka, or as Goldberg would say, Asuka.
Asuka.
You know,
Some
I'm
girl. Some
Panamanian, man. So
girl.
I grew up with Celia Cruz. She used to say azúcar, which is sugar in Spanish, which means like
Mm-hmm.
sweet. So when
Oh yeah.
Goldberg said azúcar, that's what came to mind. Anyway, and Kari saying, um, I think, I think Damage Control loses. I think it's gonna be a losing
Oh
weekend for
yeah,
Damage
yeah,
Control.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They won't lose the championships. Obviously, it's not that type of party, but
Mm,
they're gonna lose their matches, and we're gonna start to see some dissension
yeah.
going into Backlash. I think.
Dakota Kai will probably eat the pin. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she gonna Jade. They're gonna.
Uh,
Oh man, Jade and Bianca will be showing out feats of strength.
yeah, you know they're gonna do like
Where it's a
some anything you could
Festivus.
do, I could do better. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna do some shit.
Oh yeah, I
They're gonna
can't
have a
wait for
lot of
that.
fun.
Yeah. And
They're gonna have a
shout
lot of
out,
fun.
and I want to say something. WWE for what it's worth, have been investing a lot in black superstars from
Absolutely.
NXT to the main roster. They
Yep.
have been investing a lot, and shout out to them for doing that, because that was a moment. Them all pointing at the WrestleMania sign on SmackDown was a moment for young black fans. So shout out to them.
I'm gonna tell you, and a lot of the white podcasts that I listen to wrestling, everybody gets it. Like
Hmm.
everybody's like, "Yo, this is a thing. This is like it has been universally seen in the moment as like, oh shit, that's kind of cool."
And let's
And it's
be,
unfortunate that it has to be news because there's a bunch of all white teams our whole life.
yeah, yeah,
It didn't mean nothing,
exactly.
but it does say a lot that these three women could come together, looking how they look, which I always make a
Hmm.
point of because they're brown women. They're
Yeah,
really brown. They're not.
yeah,
They're brown.
yeah.
Like
They're not giving off that light
you
skin
know,
biracial vibe. Like, no
it's not
offense.
ambiguous. You are brown women. So like it's beautiful. And they're different
Hmm.
shades of brown.
Hmm.
And they're I wanted to write an article on this and I was turned down this week, but I wanted to write an article on like, not the fact that they're brown, the fact that they're like they're all different body types, but like,
Yeah.
Jade is more voluptuous but ripped. Um, Bianca's a little less voluptuous but ripped.
Yeah.
And then Naomi's not as muscular but curvaceous but fit. And I'm like, yo,
Hmm.
like they all show you different ways of looking at yourself and what's out there, what you can be, what there's a lot of pluses to it
And still
that
all beautiful women.
yeah, it's it's cool. And to your point, further along, we'll get to this match later on, but like Street Profits um against the Authors of Pain,
Hmm.
good. Like showcasing all these black people, man. Showcase
Hell
all of
yeah.
them.
And it
Street
proves
Profits
like,
and Bobby Lashley, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Against
yeah,
Authors Final Testament. Like, yeah, like we all, give me a break, man. I'm happy for everybody involved.
yeah.
As black people, we come along. I had one black wrestling toy as a kid. I had a Ron Simmons toy from and I wasn't even a WWE
Hmm.
guy. But your parents go, it's a black one. You might have it. You should
Yeah.
get the black one. And
Word.
that's just what I didn't even know who Ron Simmons really was at the time. I didn't even
Mm.
put two and two together that was Farouk until I was a lot older.
It was like
You
Ron
know what I
Simmons with the
mean?
helmet.
But the imagery is important to see. Ron Simmons, like when he was the champion at WCW, he had the Jerry
Okay, with the
curl
Jerry curl and the blue
and like purple
tights.
tights.
Purple tights. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that type of Ron Simmons. Then you get older and like, oh, this nigga was fly. Like Doom was a fly tag team, man. Shout out, rest in peace, Butch Reed. Like
Yeah.
these guys did some cool stuff even before that run. But to your point, great. I'm loving it. I'm loving it
Yeah.
because we're
Eh,
seeing we don't gotta be pigeonholed into certain roles anymore. Like that. Like that's all
like no
kind of
more
finished
crime
now.
time.
I
You know
know
what I'm
it's
saying?
so easy to point at crime time.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
crime time, so like that shit was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it
That shit was,
was.
but I get it, but it was full funny, especially that clip when they backstage and like they get William Regal to start doing the dance. Oh my god!
Oh my
Like
god.
come on, man.
Yo.
That stuff was
Listen.
good.
And that goes to show you wrestling is cool when black people are involved.
Oh
We
yeah,
making it
without a
cool.
doubt.
You feel me?
We are the seasoning,
We
without a
got the
doubt.
cool fans with the rappers and actors, Ice Cubes, O'Shea Jackson Jr. I don't want to call him Ice Cube, son. That's disrespectful to him. O'Shea Jackson Jr., West Side Gun, all these rappers who love
Lil
wrestling.
Wayne was in Brooklyn. You thought
He
Lil Wayne was pissed at New York with the gun laws? Lil Wayne was in Brooklyn
Listen,
protesting
he's
those
debuting a new
laws.
single at WrestleMania.
Meek Mill's gonna perform at WrestleMania. Let's not forget about that. They already got
Listen,
a Meek Mill commercial.
son, wrestling
The
is for
WWE is
who?
like a machine, bro. They're a
Wrestling is for
machine,
who? Wrestling is for the niggas.
son.
Listen,
That shit was
and then on
that's so
AEW
wild.
side, once Swerve becomes world champion, I want him to bring Rick Ross back out on TV. He better. I need a
Son, Ross in the
championship celebration
WWE
with
was
Rick
so fun.
Ross. Oh, listen. I think they scared because they don't want him cursing. He dropped a nigga and an F
But
bomb
Rick
on,
Ross kind
on
of be
Dynamite.
chilling though. He did it once, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you's a big nigga.
But
I
he
was
would be
like,
such a good manager. I think he really gets it. I think he
no,
really
no.
gets it, man.
Rick Ross is, and sorry for
He
like
understands entertainment.
the diatribe, but Rick Ross is the most pro wrestling rapper. Maybe him and Action Bronson, but Rick Ross is the most. Every Rick Ross interview is just a promo. It's just a wrestling promo. That's all it is.
Yes, I agree.
He's tailor
Biggest.
made.
He got catchphrases. Biggest.
Hell yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Accusations.
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 Listen, tailor made for the business, man.
Yo, I wish he would put the rapping down, boy. Let's come to let's come to wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Oh man, so we got gifted a 6 tag team ladder match, which is gonna. Well, I'll say this right now: we got Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Awesome Truth, DIY, New Day,
Mm-hmm.
New Catch Republic, A Town Down Under. I'm just the way that people been going crazy for Truth. I think Truth gonna get a title at this shit, man. I think Miz
Listen,
and Truth are gonna find a way comedically to get the tag team titles,
a little
and I
thank
think
you.
our
Thank
Truth
you,
is
Ryan.
gonna pull them shits down.
Oh, listen. And if it's Judgment Day trying to stop them and they fail to stop them,
Mommy got something to say.
listen, it is. Now I will say I haven't seen much of A Town Down Under in the ring or whatever. I just wish the Creed brothers was in there, man. That's it. I just wish the Creed brothers was in there instead of them. But it is what it is. It is
Yeah,
what it is.
I mean, but the beauty in it though is that they have built enough credible tag teams for you to be like, this one should have been in it.
Yeah,
And you know what I
yeah.
mean?
A couple of years ago, we
It's a
couldn't
credit
do
to
that.
what, man. It's a credit to what Triple H has done, man. It's a credit to them and all the other agents. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. I mean, look, I get excited to watch Bronson Reed, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the tsunami, yo. Like, like I become that person. Everybody. This is what I enjoyed about shows when I was younger. Is that you cared about everybody on the card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to care about everybody on the card.
Yeah,
And that's something that lacked in early for a good maybe 5-year stretch, maybe 6, where it's like, all right, we just care about some key things. Now I care about more people. Got Jimmy versus Jay, brother versus brother. I have no clue how that's gonna go.
I think Jay's gonna win. I think Jay
Jay's
wins.
gonna win.
What is that's a night 1 match, right?
Yeah, this is night 1.
Okay. So that's gonna be I'm wondering if the result of that match will have any implications on the tag match.
I've heard some philosophies.
But
I've heard like people think Cody won't finish the story this year, so they're gonna gift us a bunch of babyface undercard wins.
No,
to balance out.
No, I don't believe. No. They would be fools to not have Cody win it. They would be fools. Because I
don't know. I got mad doubt in my head now that people been saying. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening on Sunday, man. I don't know what's going on. Bro.
They can't.
I thought so, and like I thought Cody was gonna win. Then people started saying, I'm like, bro, I don't know now. I don't know.
Listen, maybe that's by design. Maybe they want us to have that doubt just to make it more intriguing. Because last year we were all sure Cody was winning. Last year, like there wasn't a doubt in our mind, and then he did it, and we were like, what the fuck? I don't think they can. They don't want that reaction to end the show 2 years in a row. They can't do that. I don't think,
that
man.
Spent,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. I think Jay's gonna win. I'm always like the only intriguing thing to me about that match is Jimmy. And if Jimmy's gonna be like, "Yo, you my brother again," that I should have never left. But you know what I'm saying. This bloodline thing ain't working out with the way I thought it was going to be, blah, blah, blah. But
too soon.
Too soon?
They're them finding their way back to each other has to be like foreshadowed to me. Like when I went to WrestleMania 20, and there was a moment when Shawn and Triple H looked at each other in the
Hmm.
face, and they had to double team Chris Benoit, and they both put him through a table. DX and get back together for like another 2 years.
That's true. That's true.
Like a here and there, they just had these. I remember WrestleMania 22. They both did the crotch chop in their matches.
Hmm.
I thought that was a foreshadow also. And then like sometime later that year in '06, they got back together.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have to take that long with them at all, but I think they got to. It ain't gonna happen on Saturday night. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, Jimmy.
I think Jay. I think Jimmy might win that match though.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah, because
they.
Jimmy has not really been a focal, and
But
like
Jay is like the
I feel like
biggest.
they'll try to do some type of slimy. He's like a slimy dude.
That's true. That's true.
He might do some slimy shit.
That's true.
You know,
I
like
don't know, man. Jay got the world. Jay got that
that
yeet
match.
movement
Honestly, the
going.
win for that match. But I think the win in that match for Jay is just having the crowd, and when he comes out and having them doing the,
The yeet,
I
hands
think
up and
that's the
down.
win for him.
I think they'll
Just
tie in
the
the Lil
visual of
Wayne.
that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna tie in the Lil Wayne world premiere with that match. Probably have the song debut right before that match.
Let me a thought, yo.
Yeah, because
That's
it
a big
was
audience, man.
he was with Jay on Raw when he announced he was gonna debut the song. So we'll see.
We got Gunther versus Sami
Mm.
Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
Ooh.
What
This
say you?
match, after the way Raw happened with Gunther beating down Sammy, and Sammy, I think Sammy's gonna win, but I think Sammy wins, and then Chad Gable angle slams him through the fucking mat right after. That's the next feud for Sammy. I'm hoping. That's what I want.
Wow.
I love Chad Gable. Like, why not add a little chaos into it? Chad Gable's like, yeah, I knew
Chad
you can
Gable is
do it. I knew
turning.
you
That's
can
what I
do
do
it.
know.
Exactly.
No
It's
matter what, he's turning.
yeah.
I just don't know if he's going to cost Sammy the championship, and then they go into something,
Yeah.
or if what you say happens.
I want it to be
But he's too
because he
serious. They've been doing serious promos. He's been working out.
listen, that last segment
You
on
know.
Raw looked like it was shot for HBO Max. Had the cameras
I got to
looking all
see it.
flying
Yo.
shit.
I hadn't seen it.
Nah, it was
I gotta see
really
that
good.
segment.
It was a really good segment. But
I heard.
and you could add to it
You know,
that
I was switching between that and fucking Iowa and LSU.
yeah, man, listen,
You
that
know,
game,
Monday
that
night was
game,
crazy.
that game was crazy. But
Monday
like
night
to
was crazy. Shout out Caitlin Clark, but Monday night was crazy. Shout out
where she
Angel
did
Reese,
it.
who
Yeah.
was declared for the WNBA draft
Oh, let's get it.
moments ago. Shout out
Let's
to
get
her.
it.
I might have to see if I could get to Detroit. I need to get me a ticket.
Might be rocking, especially if Caitlyn declares too.
Oh, Caitlin is she's a
She's
senior.
a senior. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's happening.
She gotta
yeah,
go.
it's happening. Well, you never know
The
because I've been
WNBA is about
watching.
to be-
You watch the men's tournament. You be hearing about these seventh year seniors with on some of these men's
Bruh,
teams. Niggas 26
redshirted.
years
I
old.
heard about that. Niggas is like 27. I'm like, bro, you're
Crazy.
grown. You can't play with these people.
Like yo, and you on the bench. You 27. You still not good enough to start, bro. What you talking about? Graduate. It's over. It's over. But
That's wild.
yeah, man. But oh, I forgot what I was saying before.
I'm not ready for Gunther to be done. So
No. Okay. See, that's the other
Yeah.
thing. Gunther's still on top of his game right now. But it's like, what else can he do with that belt? Like but then you can't move him on to the world title immediately because I would expect him
Seth
to win the
and Drew
world
gotta
title.
figure their stuff out.
Yeah. I think so. I'm thinking if Sammy wins, I want it to be that Gable attacks him after, and Gable's reasoning will be like, yo, I faced Gunther twice and I couldn't beat him, but you beat him on the biggest stage of them all. Da-da-da-da. You not even like, basically, yo, you shouldn't have beat, if I couldn't beat Gunther, you shouldn't have beaten Gunther. but you beat us, so now I'm jealous, and I want that belt from you, and then we'll go on from there. But yeah, I feel like Sammy's winning. They talk about he doesn't want to see his wife and his son crying anymore. He doesn't want to let the fans down again. Like, it's, you can't do all that and then have him be a failure again.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And ultimately, well, no, not that match. Then you got Becky and Rhea, where I think, I think Rhea's gonna win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Becky won. That's really anybody's match.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially with Becky has that made those comments where she's like, "Yo, I don't need the title. I just need a good story." Like, so.
And that's been evident.
Yeah.
That's been evident. She's been doing stuff with and without, and has put on some of the best matches I've seen women have. Look, man, that cage match with Trish Stratus is one of the best cage matches I've seen in my life. I don't care. It could be any cage, women, men. That's one of the best cage matches I've seen in my life. Trish Stratus looked like that dude from Star Trek Next Generation with the thing on his head.
Worf, or whatever his name is.
The little little knots on his head.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus looking like that. Nah, man. Them ladies did the damn thing. They did the damn thing.
Nah, they did. They did, for real.
And of course, Rock, Roman, Cody, Seth, main event of night one, where I absolutely believe that the Bloodline will win.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
We need as much drama for the world title match on Sunday night as we can get. And ain't no more drama than Bloodline rules. Like, so that has to be Bloodline rules.
Night two, got Street Profits and Lashley against Final Testament.
I could see the Profits and Lashley winning that one.
Them dudes, the Final Testament needs some wins. Or Karrion Kross needs some fucking wins.
That is true. That is true.
Like, Street Profits got to win last year at Mania, so in the showcase. So, I don't know. It's tough. Bobby Lashley is like a house, so it's like you can't discount nobody.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. Like,
is big, but Bobby Lashley's muscle too, man. It's tough. I don't know.
No, he didn't be tossing Reza and I forgot the other dude's name.
Akam.
Something
like that.
Tossing them around, man. But yeah, I don't know.
LA Knight, AJ Styles. I'm looking forward to that match.
Typically in wrestling, you break into someone's house, you lose. No, actually, no. You break into someone's house, you win. Actually, you break into someone's house, you win. Never mind. Because Swerve won. Austin, did Austin and Pillman have a match?
Nah, they never got to that.
Oh, okay. And then
the only beat Randy Orton.
Yeah, but it was Orton's house who got invaded.
Yeah.
So he lost that. Oh yeah. So yeah, you getting exactly. Yeah, you get your house ran up and on you losing.
Just off the strength that, it's this year's, every year I look at these things as award shows, WrestleManias, and LA Knight has had a year.
Yeah,
and I think this is his award, is this match. So
yeah,
LA Knight goes over there.
I think so too.
Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens triple threat U.S. title.
Listen, I don't care as long as Logan Paul loses. Logan Paul does not need the belt because he is not around enough to warrant having a championship. To me, because I mean, he's
doing a WrestleMania window.
Does he need it?
Orton and Kevin Owens is gonna get in each other's way.
Yeah, that could happen.
They've been cool all this time now, buddy, and then they're gonna step on each other's toes somehow, and I think Logan Paul's gonna capitalize on it.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Snively sliming way.
Yeah, that's true. It's
all setting up for that's another match setting up for Backlash. whatever happens
And
then.
I want them to change the design of that belt too. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
need
you
a
don't
new
like that
belt
joint?
design. Yeah. The US title,
What?
right?
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm like talking about the right one. Yeah, I don't like the big. Yeah, nah, I don't like it.
Okay. It don't bother me too much.
I think that the champion is what throws me off.
Oh, the
Like
way that it's written across.
yeah, or the placement of it.
That's fair. I like the eagle.
Bring it back.
Um, then you got Bailey against Io Sky, women's championship match. Bailey better win.
Bailey. I'm pulling for Bailey.
Um, somewhat, they say that's a forgotten story and all this, but I ain't forget. Don't worry. We gonna go up for Bailey. That's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
That's gonna be
she talked about trying to get Paramore to do her entrance theme. We'll see if that happens. But
Is that who sings the song?
I don't know if that's who sings her song, but she definitely tweeted about wanting Paramore to play her out at this year's WrestleMania. And Paramore
Oh,
responded like, "Oh, that would be cool," but it ain't as simple as that. It's like you got to go through the logistics of
gotta
it.
get that
But
money together.
yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
let Bailey get her Mania moment. Um, I don't know. I think it'll be a straight up 1-on-1 match. I don't think there'll
Is
be
Drew?
any interference from the rest of Damage Control. Or if there is, more Ovaltine please will come out and neutralize the situation.
More old team, please, gonna clean house
Yeah.
without a doubt.
This, and then you could build off the
Oh
mistrust between
man.
Bianca and Bailey again and do whatever you got to do with that.
And then they all gonna raise her hand and put it on her shoulder and all that shit. Maybe I ain't mad at that. I'm here for the feel good moments. I'm here for the
Mm-hmm.
feel good moments. I'm not mad at that.
She got a lot of young fans, Bailey. She got a lot of young
Oh,
fans.
indeed, man. That'd be fun. You got Seth versus Drew.
I
Do you
think
think you're at the beginning of a Seth heel turn? Like this WrestleMania is the beginning of a Seth heel turn?
it's tough because you hear people talking about he might turn on Cody during the tag match or whatever, but I don't
It's not
know.
happening at WrestleMania, but I could see it
Yeah.
happening on Raw.
Mm.
I
It
don't
would
see it
fit.
happening at WrestleMania.
I think if it does, it would be because him losing the title would have to be part of it.
Yes,
Like Drew, I think Drew's winning. And then
I think they're gonna beat the hell out of Seth Rollins to the fact that he's so compromised. Um, Sunday night that plays a role in him losing.
and then Punk's
He's
going
like,
to be
okay,
on
I'll put my
commentary,
body on the
right?
line for you,
I think
huh?
Punk's going to be on commentary for that match.
That's the thing too, because that's so interesting.
Yeah,
He is gonna be on commentary.
yeah, so they could go like it could be a thing where I don't even know how they're going to play it out, but I think Drew's going to win the belt for sure. Drew's been clicking on all cylinders. Plus, they got the Clash at the Castle in Glasgow coming.
Yeah, it's going to Scotland. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think he'll want to be champ when that show by the time that show comes because he's from Glasgow, right? I know he's from Scotland, but I don't know if he's from
I
Glasgow
don't think he's from Glasgow, but
specifically.
it's a city over there he's from
Okay,
for sure. I think it's I don't know. I don't want to mispronounce. I think it's called Ayers or something like that, but
okay.
something like that. That's what I think I heard him say.
Mm.
Um, and then
Yeah,
obviously you have the main event of WrestleMania 40. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Bloodline rules, supposedly. We assume.
yeah. We assume
I say I want Cody Rhodes to win this, but I will say I
Cody's
don't
winning.
know. I don't know
Cody's
what the
winning.
fuck is going to be happening.
Cody's winning only because, like, I think they clearly go to Rock versus Roman next, and that doesn't need the title. That doesn't need the belt. If anything, Roman losing the belt would add more to a feud between him and The Rock. because Rock could be like, "See, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. The family relied on you, and you couldn't do it. It should have been The Rock out there." And so we'll see how that goes. But you can't send them like. Listen, I said it earlier. Last year, everybody and their mother thought Cody Rhodes was gonna win, and when he didn't, there was a collective what the fuck. Like that air got taken out of the stadium. So I don't think they want to end Mania like that the second year in a row. Nah, not at WrestleMania
No, I
40.
mean, I think that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. But I will say the Rock Roman match is probably not
Hmm.
going to happen until next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And
true.
now we're about to go on a new story of them, of maybe the Rock condescending and trying to teach him the ways, to them eventually blowing up at some point, maybe Royal Rumble or whatever, something like that,
Yeah,
and going on, and they're gonna drop little nuggets on the way. That's what I think.
because I don't think
But as we
Roman's still going to be part time because I believe he said he's still taking like serious medication for his leukemia, so he can't really, so he can't really be there full time like we would expect him to be.
Oh, is that why? Okay. I know he mentioned that. I watched his documentary. I know he mentioned that he's still on this medication. But I
Yeah,
didn't know how that affected him and how it informs how often he could work. But whatever works. Whatever
yeah,
works.
yeah. But Cody's got to win.
But as we close, I just wanted to know if you felt, does WrestleMania 40 feel like the biggest WrestleMania of all time?
Yes,
Okay.
it's it's weird because I mean there's context to everything. There is the the f- the Rock being a part of it helps, but it's the way the Rock ended up being a part of it. The whole him initially forcing himself into the main event and making it him versus like so many people, their antennas went up when they heard that, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to be Cody." So that brought
Mm-hmm.
even more eyes. And then the way it's been going since then, like, like I will say, not this past Raw, last week's Raw, where
Great
the
Raw.
and this is like I haven't watched a full Raw in I don't know how long. That was the best Raw I've seen in a long time. Like the way they formatted it, the way everyone performed, that was one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time. So they are clicking, and I just think the aura around this WrestleMania feels bigger. Like you got Cody doing all this press. I just saw him on First Take this morning. You saw him on the news earlier than that. Um, CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk's not a part of the show actively, but CM Punk being back, Jade Cargill's debut, the intrigue of finishing the story.
Yes.
Um, damn near every match has
It has story.
has a story to it, and the story that's been some cases the story's just been you know going on for a few months, but a lot of these stories have been going on for years. Like the Bloodline shit is years in the making. Cody's a year in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy and Jay is years in the making. Um, like it just, and I'm trying to remember if I ever experienced a WrestleMania. Plus, we're in the social media era, so the hype feels more intense
Mm-hmm.
in general. But I can't remember another Mania that had this much hype around it.
What I'll say is it feels big to me. It feels like the biggest to me. I think the biggest proponent is that since WrestleMania 38, I feel like there's been such a hopefulness in the company since Vince has been gone,
Hmm.
and people are so much more open to what will transpire either which way. I think there's just goodwill among the fans. And with the Rock's involvement, the casuals come back. People have hit me up on why you ain't
Yeah.
tell me the Rock came back. It's like my fault.
Yeah, I ain't
You know
know
what I
you
mean?
was
Like
watching like that.
the fact, yeah, like the fact that you have such a storied story with the
Mhm.
bloodline and everything continuing from last year, which is almost like it's almost like when a really old comparison is like when Macho Man won in WrestleMania 4, Hogan helped him, and then they go on that run together. You get to WrestleMania
Mhm.
5, mega
The mega
powers
powers explode.
explode, right, and so like we've seen these moments happen before, where the story goes into the next year. And everybody that's been tapped in with Cody Rhodes' story since he came back, the whole idea of finishing what his father set out to do, I think people could. It's easy to buy into and want to see him do it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
when you couple that with just the amount of star power on the show, the amount of people that can really go in the ring, people again, we care about the characters, man. Like you could run down that list and see the amount of pops that are gonna go off in there. L.A. Knight, Jay
Yeah.
Uso, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. And I mean, that's not even not even be a quarter of the card. Like, it's gonna be a fun time, and I think being in a place like Philly, it will be a little cold, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
the people are gonna
Yeah.
bring it, man. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm just
I
hoping
look
it
forward
doesn't
to
rain for y'all.
being there.
Yeah. My one hope for
Yeah,
y'all is that it doesn't rain out there because I know it's at Lincoln Financial, so they're probably just gonna have the roof over the ring, but because I don't
as
think
far as
there's a
I know,
retractable roof at the stadium itself.
I'm gonna sound a little privileged here. As far as I know, we supposed to be in a press box area,
Hey,
so I'm
shit.
hoping that shit is covered. I ain't That is the least of my worries.
Now if you're in the press box, you good. You good.
Liquor me up, feed me, and let's enjoy some grabs.
Word.
So a happy WrestleMania weekend to you all. You know what I mean? Whatever you decide to get into.
Listen, and they got what we got. We got ROH on Friday. I think GCW has a show on Friday. You have Stand and Deliver Saturday afternoon for NXT, and then night one of WrestleMania Saturday night. And then your various indie. I think WrestleCon is Saturday. Well, it'll be the whole weekend WrestleCon, so you'll have all that. Every little indie that can afford to run a show that weekend there is running a show that weekend. So if you're trying to look for something new, you can. Um, Shout out to all the black journalists other than you that's gonna be there.
Yeah,
My man Seahawk, I can't remember his name. I know his Twitter handle is Seahawk Cameron something. I can't
good
remember his
dude,
last
good
name.
dude.
Yeah,
He actually gave me the link to the email handle to apply for my press passes, man. So
oh yeah, that's
appreciate
what's
him for
up.
sure.
Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to all the
You
journalists
know,
going on there to have fun and the fans and just to a certain segment of fans. Don't be weird. Like I know it's hard for y'all to not be weird, but don't be weird.
especially around
Like
these lovely ladies, man. Act like you got
yeah,
some sense.
yeah. Act like you've been around some
Don't
women
embarrass
before.
us
Like
like Drew Gulak has.
word.
Just relax.
Shower, please shower. Cause I know some of y'all, some of them gonna be out there all day going to every which one of it. So by the time they hit WrestleMania, they're gonna have a whole day's worth of funk on them.
Well, shower and deodorize.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Make
know,
sure it
put
has
on anti-odor. Ain't no
antiperspirant.
reason. I've been through many long days and never stink. So come on, let's get it
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Don't make the
Let's get it
mistake
together.
of getting the deodorant without the antiperspirant.
You know what I mean? Oh, don't get me twisted. I use it all natural. It's not antiperspirant. It just don't stink.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
find some
yeah.
shit that works for
Just
you and stick to it.
word. Get
You know
that
what I mean?
that what's that body lotion shit that's supposed to be like a deodorant. They got the white lady on the commercials trying to sell it.
Oh, can I use it on my pss?
Yeah,
Oh,
one of
can I
those
put it on the
shits.
pss?
Yeah, use that if you can't get deodorant. Because I think they got a
You
version
know,
for men.
My mother was in the car one day when that commercial came on when I was into a podcast.
Hmm.
And in that commercial, they're like, 4 out of 5 gynecologists suggested it. And I said to her, I said, well, what the fifth gynecologist say? Like, why they don't want trainees? Like, what's wrong with this thing?
Yeah, I want to hear from that fifth one.
Don't tell me about four.
Yeah,
All of them should have said it was good.
yeah. No, it ain't like 4 out of 5 dentists, and you're like, maybe they didn't like this, but nah, this is no. When you're talking about
Give me a
people's
break.
personal area, I need it to be a straight sweep across the board.
4 out of 5. I want to know what the fifth gynecologist said. You're not gonna go
Oh
all over
man.
on
Yeah.
me.
Oh
That's so
man.
not wrestling related, man. This has been the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. And happy 1 year anniversary to us. You know.
Indeed, we keep it going.
Yeah, we're gonna try and keep it going for real. Yeah, some of you may feel like this is a WWE heavy episode, but it's WrestleMania weekend, bro. Like, what you expect us to do? Like, if you want, my slam of the week was from Dynamite last week. And I can't even remember the match. Bam, there you go. There you have it. Not to knock on AEW, it's WrestleMania weekend, so my mind has been on WrestleMania, so it is what it is.
Rightfully so.
Swerve versus Takeshita. Sorry, Swerve versus Takeshita.
No
that
problem.
main event at last week's Dynamite. Boom.
I'm gonna go with Ricochet against Ivar from Raw this week.
Listen,
Hey, Ricochet somehow held that dude up. I don't know, man.
I saw that. I was like, yo, I know my man got an icy hot patch on that back after the match because that's crazy. That's crazy.
The big dudes, man. Ivar, Bronson Reed, them dudes be putting on, man.
Yeah,
Shout
they
out
do.
to those fellas.
Word.
But that's all I got.
That's it. We will see y'all next week with our post WrestleMania recap, and it better be celebrating Cody's win. I'm telling you, it has to be. It has to be.
Prayerfully.
Word. Peace and love to y'all.
Yeah, man. Later on.